Hello. In this video, we are going to create a Python program that will compute the perimeter of a triangle. So first of all, let's look at the perimeter of a triangle from a website. This is called Omni Calculator. It is my favorite website to find perimeter of different shapes. She also makes calculators for areas, volumes, and so on. It's a really good calculator, and she does a really good job, in my opinion. So in this program, the option we are interested in is calculator. We can look at rectangle, square, semicircle, and so on. So what I've done is I've picked calculator option, and the ways to find the perimeter of a triangle are three ways to find them. We can either find the perimeter given three sides, or given two sides and an angle between. That would be SAS. Or we can find it given two angles and a side in between. That would be ASA. So SAS will look like this. This would be A and B, and the angle is in between there, Y. And then for ASA, not SAS, ASA, we have two angles and we have side A given. So let's look at the first option with the three sides. And let's come down here and put in some numbers. So if we can put in, let's first of all put in T. Let's see what it does. T and U, and then H. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't. I mean, if we were entering numbers instead of a blank here, we would get actual perimeter of the triangle, but it doesn't do anything. So let's put in some numbers now. 2, and then we put in 3 for length of side B, and then for length of C, we put in 4, and we come down, we get the perimeter is 9 inches. And we can change this units too in her program. In our program, we're not going to be able to do that. It'll only compute the perimeter, and it'll be units, and then not in inches or yards or whatever. All right, so same goes for two sides and an angle and two angles on a side. We put in numbers in these boxes and we get a perimeter down here. All right, so that's that, and let's jump into our code. This is VS Code here, and I've already started a good chunk of the program here. So what I've done here is I've created a file called triangle.py, and I've already imported everything for math, and I've created a bunch of functions here. These are tools for us to use. We will use this in this program and future programs that we will compute perimeters, areas, and so on. We will be using all of these functions. These are all functions to get user input, by the way. And in all of them, we restrict the user to inputting only positive numbers because sides and angles are positive measure. And then this is the main triangle perimeter function here. So I have a Boolean variable. We call the print menu here in the first line. The user chooses one of the options. We have a blank line of code. And if the choice is 1, we call the triangle perimeter given SSS. That will be the first function here. We will call that. It'll do the computations, and it'll break out of the program once the computations have been done. So let's go back here. Yeah, that's choice 1. It says flag is false. We exit. We get out of this function here. So elif, if choice is 2, we call the other function, and if choice is 3, we call the last function. Or else, this is invalid input. This is how I've handled exception handling, just by if-else statements, conditional statements, taking care of exception handling. In my triangle perimeter main function and in the main function, we only call the triangle perimeter. That would be this function here. And once we do that, we call it. It does the computations, and then line command goes to down here, and we can either exit or keep running the code. All right, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to fill in the first function. So in this first function, given SSS, we need 3 inputs from the user, 3 user inputs for sides A, B, and C, and we will do some computations. So let's do that. Let's copy this one here. It says get side A, just copy it. So what I'm going to do is, we're just going to say try A equals, do like that. Just copy and paste for these functions. Call these functions to get the user inputs for A, B, and C. So that's what I'm doing. B equals, likewise, we're going to get side B here. Copy and paste this one. All right, and then C equals, and this one is side C. So get side C. All right, and then in the else block, we have P equals, let's see. We need, what I've done actually here in this this text document here is that I have all the parameters that are needed for this program. So these are all the perimeter equations. For the first choice, we're going to be using this equation. For the second, it's going to be either this one or the third one. There's only 3 options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then we're going to paste it into our code down here. We're just going to put it under main. Doesn't matter. So where I got these functions from are from her calculator, actually. If I come down here, she has these equations for us. So C says P equals A plus B plus C, and then P equals this one here. This, you need to put in this line of code, need to put it in Python language, basically. That's what I've done. And likewise for the third option, so you need to convert this into Python and then save it and just copy and paste into your program. That's what I did. So these are the 3 parameter functions that are needed for this program. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so in the first functions, we're going to copy this one, and we're just going to paste it in the function. Let's see, just copy and paste it there, and that's it for the first function. That's all we need to do. We need to get user input for 3 inputs from the user ABC, and then the parameter is a plus b plus c. This is given the 3 sides. All right, so this is given the SAS. We know we'll need a and b, and then an angle. That's what we're going to need. So let's go back to all the way down here, and this is the function we're going to be using. This one is using 2 sides and an angle here. C would be, capital C would be angle C, and then a lowercase a and b would be the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this into the second function, into the else block. So this is given SAS, so just like so, copy and paste it. And then in our try block, we will copy and paste a and b from the first function. That's all you have to do. And then we also will need a angle to do our computations. So let's copy C, this one, angle C. So we have C now equals, yep, get angle C. So when you call the get angle C, it'll basically ask the user for a positive angle. That's what it does. All right, so that is the second function. And then the last function here, we will have 2 angles and a side. So let's go down, see what that side is and the angle. So we have side A and then angles A and B. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And then we will put it down here, so under the else. So P equals that. And then we can just copy and paste this one for A. So A gets side A. And then hit enter. And then we need angles A and B, right? We have angles A and B here. So I'm going to copy, well, A will be this one, get angle A. So A equals, oops. So control V here, and then B equals, get the other one, get angle B. Get angle B. All right, so that's it for this program. That we've already created our program, we're done creating it. So we filled in all 3 functions. The first function is computing SSS, this will be this one here, and then the second function is SAS, and then the last one is ASA, just like her calculator. So let's check our program. We're going to test the first function here. I'm going to run my code. So let's run it. And so we're going to choose option, it says find the parameter given. So it's maybe, all right. So we're going to choose option 1, and then I'm going to hit enter 2, 3, and 4. And then we get the parameter is 9. What I've done here is I'm routing to 3 decimal places here. That's why it's 9.000, because if I go to the function, the first function, let's close this, SSS, it says 0.3F and then P. So that's why it's doing 3 decimal places. All right, so let's do option 2 and then compare it to the calculator we looked at. So for option 2, we're going to hit option 2, obviously. And then for side A, we're going to enter 4.1. And then side B, let's do 8.7. And then for angle C, we're going to enter 78. And then hit enter. So our parameter is 21.613. So let's go to the calculator and make sure that they get the same value also. So let's go to our calculator. So we're going to choose option 2. So I had 4.1, oops, 4.1, and then 8.7, and then I believe it was 78. I need to double check if these were the values that we entered. 4.1, 8.7, and 78. Yes. So we get 21.613. That's the same value that we got in our program. All right, so lastly, let's look at option C in the calculator. We're gonna, for side length A, we're gonna enter, let's enter -7. Does it take it? It actually, it says it must be greater than 0. And we will check that in our program also, see if that's taken care of. So let's enter an actual number. I'm gonna enter 4.25, and then angle B, we're gonna enter 11, and then the other angle, let's actually enter an angle that will be outside of the range. So enter 171. It says the sum of the angles must be less than 180 degrees. So it has to be 160 something. So let's enter 112. That's fine. So we have 11, 112, and then 4.25. and their perimeter is 9.916. Let's check that with our program, see if we get the same thing. So let's hit no here. So we're gonna choose option 3 for side A11, and then angle the first angle was, oops, I think I already entered the wrong numbers. So let's, all right, so let's run our program for option 3. We're gonna choose that option. So we're gonna hit no and then choose option 3. For side A, we're enter 4.25. Angle A is gonna be 11, and then 112, I believe. So 9.915, and she has 9.916. So it's basically the same value. Our rounding is off by 1/1000, or hers is off by 1/1000. It's one of the two. So that's how we do that. But I wanted to run it for option 3, see how that works. So we're gonna hit T, and then we're gonna choose option 3 here. I'm gonna enter a side, and then enter for angle, enter a number, say 89, and then we're gonna, for angle B, we're gonna enter an angle that would be a mathematically error-wise. Like, it would be a math domain error in Python, but in this program, we would have to tell Python to make it a domain error. So let's do that. So let's enter 122, see what we get. I've made a mistake in the third function here, the one that takes 2 angles on a side. I need to tell the program to make it so that we cannot enter 2 angles greater than 180 degrees. We've already taken care of angles being greater than 0 in here. It says angle C. It says if it's less than 0 or greater than 180 degrees, it'll tell us that that's a error. The while loop takes care of us entering only values between 0 and 180 degrees. It'll keep looping back until we enter the correct value. So that's good. But then in the function we have down here for the two angles on a side, we need to tell the program to not take values greater than 180 degrees. So we say while A plus B is greater than or equal to, so greater than or equal to 180 degrees. So we're going to print something. Print, so we're going to say sum of angles A and B must be less than 180 degrees, like that. And then we'll enter a \n to enter a new line of code, to enter a blank line of code. So what we need to do now here is we're going to tell the user to enter these two. We need to copy and paste here so we're not in an infinite loop. So while this condition is met, while it's greater than 180 degrees, we loop back, we ask the user for angles A and B until we get that the sum is less than 180 degrees. So now if I run the code here, so let's run our code again for option 3. So let's choose option 3 now. Let's enter a side, it doesn't matter. So angle A, I'm going to enter 110 degrees, and then 71. So this would be greater than 180 degrees. It says sum of the angles A and B must be less than 180 degrees. So it'll catch that error. So we don't have a mathematically error-bound code here. So it needs to be mathematically sound. That's what I'm trying to say. So angle A, we're going to enter 12, and then for that one, angle B, enter 70, and then it'll give us the perimeter. And we can now exit the program. But anyway, that's how we create a triangle perimeter program using Python. Thanks for watching.